Today's concern, today's topic, this question, is something not only plagues single people, right? But even those who are in committed relationships. Right? So the question is, how do I get over the pain of my ex? Okay, so I'm just going to give a short answer. You never actually get over the pain of your ex. Okay, that's it. We're done. I'm just kidding. Now, I've been in a number of relationships over the past years, and a few of them, they've been pretty serious relationships. Okay? And when we get into serious relationship, you get into a serious relationship, you usually have that voice at the back of your head. It's talking to you, it's screaming at you, it's asking, is this the one? Is she or he the one? So what we do is we keep pushing, we keep hoping, we do everything that we can to make it happen, right? Even sometimes we do stupid things. Like sometimes we take our own needs for granted, right? But in the end, more often than not, the answer is no, he or she, this person that you're with, they're not the one. You tried your best, right? But it just wasn't right. Or maybe something happened. Or that's not what I want to focus on right now. What I want to focus on is that pain that you feel after any serious relationship. And it hurts, right? It hurts, right? Let me know, it hurts. It hurts badly for both men and women. It's heart-wrenching pain. It makes you cry for days, it makes you cry for nights, it makes you feel empty, it makes you feel worthless, it makes you feel unlovable. You get what I'm saying, right? Can you relate? Can you relate to that? Now the good news is that as time goes on, the pain will be lessened, right? But the not so good news is that it will always be there. You know, just like if I get a cut on my hand, it will heal. But there will be a scar, right? It will never heal 100%. And you know, maybe for a few days or a few weeks, I won't be able to use my hand properly because the pain is so strong. But over time, the pain will subside, and we usually gain full function of like the hand. We feel our injuries years later. Their pain's still there. They never fully heal. And with heartache, like true heartache, it stops us from functioning properly, maybe for a short amount of time, maybe for days, for weeks, or even months. But over time, it gets better, and we get back to who we were. But every now and then, we think about the pain, right? We still remember it, and we still can cry about what happened. That never really goes away, right? That never really goes away. Now, the difficulty, the challenge for a lot of people is they close themselves off, right? And they never open their hearts again. And I understand, it makes sense, right? The pain is just too much to handle, right? There's too much risk. But being part of human is loving. You know, loving yourself, loving others, and perhaps loving a partner. And opening your heart and being vulnerable, that's part of what makes us human. It's part of what makes us happy and what makes us complete. Okay, now I'm not saying that you really need like husband or a wife to be complete, but you do need to open your heart to others. You do need to be able to be vulnerable with them. You know, you can be vulnerable with family, with friends, or with a partner. And the more you let someone in, the more you let some people in, the more that you will be complete. You will get hurt, right? And you'll get back to who you were. The pain will always be there, but you shouldn't let that pain stop you from living a full life. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. That's the 5 minutes of happy to answer this. You know, let's get emo for thanks for advice. Bakit po may ganitong topic? It's part. Well, if you have any comments, any questions, let me know. Wala namang mga tanong. Tell us about your ex and how to get over it. Well, diba? That's kind of what we talked about. That the pain will always be there. If you have an ex, if you've been in a serious relationship, the pain will always be there. But the pain will subside, and you can't really expect. Diba? You can't expect na the pain will really ever go away, as in fully go away, right? Because it will linger. Even years later, even like 5-10 years later, you can remember, diba? You can remember, you can still feel it. You know, the first few days, weeks, or months, that's the hardest, right? That's the hardest. But as time goes on, it'll die down. And you know, like what I said, what's important is that we let people in. We let people in. We be vulnerable with other people, and we let people into our hearts and our lives. It doesn't need to be romantic. It can be friends, family, but it also can be a partner, right? Because there's that, you know, special connection that you have. Have you ever considered getting back with your ex, and why? What's your take on second chances in relationships? Like we can answer this in a separate episode, but well, people. Well, it depends on the reason, right? Francine Pascual, have you ever considered getting back with your ex, and why? And what's your take on second chances? Depends on the reason. Right? It depends on the reason why the relationship didn't work. It depends. It really depends. If it was when you were still young, you made mistakes, and then maybe you change, maybe you mature emotionally as people. Because a lot of the times, why relationships don't work is that, you're not emotionally mature yet, or one of the partners, or both of you are not emotionally mature. You haven't loved yourself yet. Where there are also relationships that really won't work out. Your personalities are just different. There are some people that you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with, even if they mature, even if they adjust, because who we are, our personalities deep inside, they will still stay the same. Our flaws, our strengths, and weaknesses will still stay the same. We can mature. We can get more emotionally mature. We can become aware of things, but our personalities will be the same years later. And we see this, parang kids who grow up 40 years later, they still have the same personality. They're more mature. They can handle things better, but they have the same personality. So if the reason why it didn't work before was maturity, it can work in the future. If it was because of personality, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. Being vulnerable is part of being human. Yes, that's kind of what I want us to remember. That for us to really live life and not just survive. Survival is different. We're not animals. Even animals have love, like with your dog, they have unconditional love for you. But rather than just survive, we eating, sleeping, and that's it. If we want to really live our life as human, we have to be vulnerable with others, because only in then can we love ourselves and allow others to love us. Ikaw, kamusta ka na? Okay naman. I'm actually pretty happy right now, Jane. Thank you for asking. I'm happy with who I am right now, and I'm excited for the future. Pakinig ka ng typecast music. So what's the point of all of this if you will never change? Diba? That's right, Zion. Diba? What's the point? Why would you get back? We're talking about second chances right now. Diba? Going back with a previous relationship. What's the point if you will never change? If you stay the same, there's no point, right? And even when you're in a relationship, diba, you should grow. You should grow, hopefully, together. And like what I've seen a lot in my experience is like if one partner grows and the other doesn't, then it won't work now. Because people change, right? People grow, and you should grow together as much as possible. Narben Lasola, what can you say about rebound relationships? Good question. About rebound is like when you're rebounding after you get out of a serious relationship, and then you get into another relationship as parang just an emotional release, an emotional escape. And I've been guilty of rebound relationships. I think most of us have been guilty of that. But it's not good. It's not good, because what it does is it sets, unless from the start, when you're getting into a rebound relationship, you're saying, okay, if you're at the start, the expectations are set properly. This isn't something that's long term. It's just a short term relationship. Otherwise, people are going to get hurt. Right? People are going to get hurt. In any kind of short term relationship, people usually get hurt. But if you set expectations from upfront, we're not just doing this for long term, then that's better. Because if you don't, then the other person's gonna expect, right? The other person's gonna expect. And if you're not honest, you're just gonna hurt other people. And we don't want to hurt other people, but we want to treat others how we want to be treated, right? And we don't want others to hurt us. So don't take out our pain on other people. It can be rebound relationships or kind of a release. Pero, the expectation should be set properly. How do you find the one book? Literal personal question. But that's like a very deep question. How do you find the one? It's hard, right? It's hard. Even I'm having trouble finding the one. Like, you have this idea in your head. If I have this idea in my head of who I want to be with, of course that will change once you get into a relationship, right? You make sacrifices, you make adjustments. But I think I'll answer this separately, Zion, because I can write a whole topic about this. There's some of these questions that you guys are asking. I'm gonna answer them in a separate discussion. Like, how do you find the one? And that's like I can't properly answer that, but we all have ideal down on partners in our head, right? Okay, we want our partner to be like this, like that. But when you actually fall for somebody, right? We say, hey, maybe that part was not so important. Maybe this was not so important. And a couple of people lately have asked me, how do I find the one? Well, for me, it's somebody who you can respect. You can have differences, right? You have differences. And everybody has differences. You can have religious, political, or differences about, different opinions, different food choices, and so on. But I guess number one is that you respect each other. You respect that they're that person, you're this person. And it doesn't infringe on who you are. They're their own person, you are their own person, you respect each other, and you don't infringe upon each other. You don't force them to be different, you don't force them to be like you, and vice versa. They're not forcing you to be like them. So mutual respect, very important. Communication, mutual respect. This is on the top of my head, okay, but I'm going to write a whole another topic about this. Mutual respect, very important, and you have to have proper communication. You have to be able to communicate. Like with some people, communication is just instant, We meet some people and then you just connect with them, you communicate with them. I can't snap my fingers, by the way, no matter how I try. But, it's just instant communication. With some people, you meet them and there's this barrier. You're not comfortable talking to them, right? So I think that, number two is you have to be comfortable talking to them. Because this is not just a partner who you're going to look at and maybe sleep with or whatever, but this is a partner who you want to talk to share your troubles with, to share your successes with. So respect, communication, and I think in we can have that with friends. I have friends who I respect and communicate, but we're not in a relationship together. So the third is also attraction. You have to be attracted to one another in some way, right? It doesn't need to be physical, but there has to be that attraction. So, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about this in more detail later on. I hope that kind of answers your question. That's good to hear. Thank you, Marvin. Walang label, no? Diba? That's because, but you set expectations beforehand, diba? Kasi if you're rebounding and diba? Usually you're aware na this is just rebounding, or in the others it's like the Tinder culture, the hookup culture. You're aware of what you're going through. You're aware that you're not ready for a serious relationship yet, right? And if you really need that emotional or that physical kind of rebound, then you should set expectations with the other partner, with the other person. Otherwise, you're just going to hurt other people, right? Even if walang label, the other person might expect if you're being so sweet, if you're treating them like a long-term partner, right? So even if walang label, it's better if you set proper expectations. Because all of us want to be good people. All of us want to be good people. So, and we want to treat other people decently and the way that we want to be treated. It's hard to find the right one. Tama po kayo, Sir Jason. Respect is the key. Communication, lalo na hindi kayo pare-pareho ng beliefs. Yeah, because we all have different opinions and beliefs on